Hey guys, I'm back. I'll be reading another book. This book is titled A Crazy Stupid Hood Love in Dallas, and it's by Queen Kai. Before I get started, just want to let you know my t-shirt line will be relaunching, and you can get some of these beautiful shirts very soon. Once I have that launch, I will have all the information for you guys. All right, so let's get started. Prologue. Rain. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Regine. Happy birthday to you. My mother's face lit up as she sang happy birthday to me. She was an adorable, chunky woman. Her face was as round as pie and so vibrant that it lit up every room she walked into. I had just turned 10 years old, and my mother had gone all out for my double digits. She had rented the biggest venue that I've ever been to. The theme of the party was royalty, and that's exactly how I felt. I wore my blue princess-style gown with a pretty diamond tiara that blinded the crowd from every strike of light that hit. My big sister, Sky, wore a simple white dress and her own tiara. She was 12 years old, but we were always as close as identical twins. My mother wore a white and blue dress matching my sister and I's with a big, bright diamond crown. Sky and I had the utmost respect for our mama because she loved us unconditionally. She would make the world stop and bow down to our feet if we asked. I asked for a dress-up party, and she went all out with the best celebration I could think of. I closed my eyes and blew out the candles on the 3-layer marble cake. My baby is 10 years old now. My mom gave me a big hug and kiss to match. Yep, 6 years to go for my sexy 16. I did a little twerk in my dress. Just 'cause it's your birthday don't mean I won't whoop you. Mama, why you gotta do too much on my birthday? I said what I said, little girl. Happy birthday, baby sister. Sky gave me a kiss on the cheek. Thank you, Sky. It was a bigger turnout than I expected. My decade party was still better than yours, she taunted. With Sky being 2 years older than me, and since it was just the two of us, we always indulged in harmless competition. My mother loved us both the same, so we couldn't really outdo one another. While I don't have a lot of fake friends like you, I'm a loner. This was true. Sky was a popular chick that had everyone flocking, but I liked my personal space. There was only a few hundred people here, and most of them were family and friends of the family. Happy birthday, my raindrop, my Grandpa G called me by the nickname he gave me. Thank you again, Papa G. I gave him a hug and kiss on the cheek. My grandfather was more of a father to Sky and I, since our dad is doing life in the pen. I've never met my biological dad, but there was an unspoken rule to never talk about him. But from the pictures I found in my mother's office of their wedding day, they were very telling of their love for each other. You know, Papa got you something special. What is it? Let me see. I was excited. Every birthday, my grandparents seemed to take my breath away with his gifts. Daddy, I told you the gifts come at the end. Let her enjoy her party. My mom was very calculated and organized when it came to planning any family event. She had everything scheduled from the time they began setting up to the time they locked the doors to the venue. All right, bossy Genevieve. Happy birthday, Rainbow, my Uncle George, a.k.a. Bo, cheered, giving me a tight hug. Uncle George was my mother's little brother and most definitely the life of the party. Thank you, Uncle Bo. I was genuinely happy. Everyone here held nothing but smiles. Their love was suffocating. You look beautiful. You're all grown up, but you're still my baby, though. He kissed my forehead. I know, Uncle Bo. You're still my favorite uncle in the world. That's right. Okay, so what you got me? I cut to the chase. Close your eyes. As I closed my eyes, a chilling feeling washed over my young body. With my eyes still closed, the once energetic party was turned into a war zone. The sounds of machine guns took the place of once roaring music. My heart suddenly sank, and my body went numb. Too frightened to become visually aware of my surroundings, I stood amongst the flying bullets and wailing crowd. Rain, get down! My eyes popped open just as my Uncle Bo forced me onto the ground next to my lifeless grandpa. Papa! I let out a blood-curdling scream while hovering over his limp body. There was a stream of blood pouring from his chest. Raindrop! My grandpa struggled to say my name. The sight of his calm but horrifying face terrified me. Blood oozed out of his chest while he choked on the blood spewing out of his mouth. There was no words to describe the way I felt watching the scene before me. My decade celebration took a turn for the complete worst, but it didn't end there. Mommy, no! Sky wailed for a few feet away. As if the sight wasn't frightening enough, my mother sat up with her gun in her hand while blood leaked from her stomach. Mama! I screamed while running to my mother's side. The gun war seemed to die down, but there was still shots sounding off outside. Rain! Sky! My mom struggled to speak. Mama, we have to get to a hospital. I had to do something to keep my mama alive. We're too far out. I'm not gonna make it. Don't say that. Come on, help me get her up. Sky tried to help her stand, but it was no use. Uncle Bo stood behind us, watching her sister in shock. Sky! Rain! I need y'all to be strong. Take care of each other, Rain. Stop crying, Mama. I don't want you... But I promise. I'll watch over you from heaven. Sky, baby, be strong for me. Y'all are stronger than you could ever imagine. I love y'all. The puddle of blood grew bigger and bigger as she struggled to breathe. Bo, take them. Go! She didn't want us to watch her take her last breath. Come on, y'all. We have to go. Uncle Bo pulled me in Sky's arms. I stumbled to my feet as tears stained my face. My mother's blood covered my dress. I love you, Mama, I cried out before looking around at my surroundings. There was blood covering every inch of our once beautiful decorated venue. I had never witnessed something so horrific. All of my loved ones were scattered about. The majority of them had gotten injured, but still shot back at the assailants. Stay behind me, Uncle Bo instructed Sky and me. He held his gun as he cautiously snuck us through the back to an abandoned SUV. Silence filled the car as we sped away from the crime scene that was my party. I stared blankly out the window as we entered the city of Dallas. We lived and grew up in Fort Worth. The only thing I knew about Dallas was the State Fair and the zoo, but I like Houston Zoo a lot better. I looked over to the Sky, who had cried herself to sleep next to me. I laid my head back, closed my eyes, and followed suit. A foul smell woke me from my short slumber. The car was parked on the side of the freeway near a smelly river. I remember Mama called it the Trinity River. Uncle Bo was in the middle of an intense conversation with two other men, who to the side. I could see in their body language that shit was about to get real. Sky, Sky, I shook her slumbered body. What, Rain? My sister and I looked like we had the longest night in our lives. Look! I gestured for her to look out the window. The two men were approaching the car. I watched in terror and wrapped my arms around my sister. Uncle Bo had gotten into the other vehicle parked in front of us. Uncle Bo! Uncle Bo! George! Me and Sky called out, but Uncle Bo had sped away. Once, one of the mystery men snatched the door open and tried to grab me. Sky and I screamed, cried, and kicked like the defenseless babies we were. Hey, yo, bro, what the fuck you doing? The other young, dark guy asked the taller, lighter guy. We need to shut they asses up until we get to the house. Either you two stop screaming or you could catch a fucking bullet, the aggressive guy spat. Get in the fucking car. We've already behind schedule fucking with this dumbass Bo. The dark brown-toned guy spoke, getting into the passenger seat of the car. The other guy followed suit and started driving. Sky and I held each other silently, crying for the entire ride. We were too scared to fall asleep. Therefore, the 2-hour drive felt like an eternity. We had finally pulled up into the small, old white house. Our house was 10 times bigger and more beautiful. Get out, the bright man demanded as he opened the back door. Sky and I just sat, looking at him, as if he were crazy. Do you bitches not hear me? He grabbed at my dress, snatching it. Hearing the dress rip ignited the anger I felt within the whole 24 hours of my birthday. I kicked him as hard as my long, muscular legs could in his crouch. I climbed out of the car, and Sky and I proceeded to kick his ass together. The guy on the passenger side came to help the driver, but Sky had grabbed the gun from the driver's pants. Neither of us knew what to do with it. Nevertheless, we had to get out of this situation. How the fuck you let them get your gun? The dark guy asked. Shut the fuck up, fool. Why you let them jump up? Moving slowly and shit, getting out of the car. Sky held the gun up and made it click like in the movies. I guess that's where she learned how to operate it. They look familiar. I don't know where I've seen them before. Don't soften that shit up. Need no watching for us to bring from. Let's finish this job so I can get my money and dip. I hate this kidnapping shit. These bitches be too much of a hassle. The driver took a step forward, and Sky pulled the trigger. The bullet penetrated his forearm. All three of us jumped up in fear. Sky instantly dropped the gun as if she was going to get in trouble by our mother. I was scared for her because she could possibly go to jail for murder. The guy was still alive, but he was in a lot of pain. The passengers stared in shock. However, it wasn't because his friend was shot. Hey, I ain't gonna hurt you. Just answer this question, and I'll see how I can help you. He raised his arm in surrender. Who is your daddy? That question seemed to be so irrelevant at the moment. Bull. Sky only found out the street name when she found a letter he wrote to our mother before their wedding day. Come in the house, and I'll call somebody to come pick you up, okay? After he heard our dad's name, he looked more scared of us than we were of him. His dark skin appeared almost as bright as his friend, who was also scared out of his mind. I don't trust you. Me and my sister are not staying with y'all. Sky was not having it. What if I call your daddy? I can let y'all talk to him. No, just get us home. Where's our Uncle Bo? Y'all uncle? All right, we're going to get y'all home, the passenger interrupted the bleeding driver. He made a few calls, and within 4 more hours, were greeted by Malcolm Okora. He was a much older man, probably as old as my grandpa was. He was as dark as night. He almost looked like a shadow. I'm Malcolm. What y'all names? Rain and Sky? Who are you? I grew up with your dad. I'm sorry about what happened tonight. He sounded genuine, but my sister and I never knew our dad, so we didn't trust anybody. Can you just take us to our Uncle Bo? Sky was crying once again. We were unsure of where we would end up without our mother. We didn't know anyone there. We didn't trust anything they said. Your Uncle Bo had to take care of some business. Your dad asked me to look after y'all while he's gone. Either get in the car so we can get you fed and cleaned up, or stay here with the bad people. He slightly raised his voice. I looked up at Sky. Please, Sky, let's go. I don't want to stay here. Fine, but I'll shoot you if you mess with me or my sister, she threatened before pulling me in Malcolm's direction. The whole car ride, Sky and I took turns crying and sleeping. We would cry ourselves back to sleep every time we woke up. By the morning, we both ended up in the bed of the size of my mother's queen bed. The reminder made me cry out for my mama like a baby. Mama? I called, hoping that I had a bad dream, but from the decor of the room, I was not my mother's taste. Rain, Rain. Sky kept calling me once she woke up out her sleep. The door swung open and 2 young boys around our age appeared with alarmed expressions upon their face. Who are you, and why are you yelling in my house? The shorter one asked, but I was too emotional to talk. Who are you? Sky snapped, mugging the boy. I asked you first, ugly ass, little girl, the short boy spat. Well, who the fuck you talking to? I'll slap the shit out of you. Don't come in here talking to us like that. Hey, Mayhem, chill out before you wake Dad up. I'm Messiah, and this is my little brother Mayhem, Messiah introduced. Why are you crying? He asked while approaching me. Don't touch her. Sky pulled me close to her when he got too close. My bad. My brother don't want to touch your dusty ass sister. You can get out my house with all of that, Mayhem snapped. Will you leave us alone? Our mama just died. We don't know y'all like that, so don't come at us. Why are you making all that noise? Malcolm angrily asked as he stepped into the room. He looked disheveled and completely different from when we met. Sorry, Pa. We heard her scream. Mayhem was now quiet while his brother apologized for the noise. Go back to your rooms and get dressed. We have shit to do. Girls, I had one of my maids buy some clothes. We have toothbrushes and towels in the bathroom. Get dressed, and my wife will be here shortly to do your hair. Our mom is the only person that can comb our hair. Sky folded her arms with an attitude. Newsflash, little girl. Your mama dead. My wife is coming to do your hair, or just you can walk around nappy-headed, Malcolm snapped. Me and my sister here was completely uncapped. Sky elbowed my side, making me winch in pain. Ow! Stop hitting me, I snapped. Hey, stop yelling in my house. Get your asses up and get dressed. Once Sky and I were cleaned up and dressed, his wife, by the name of Ajoa Okora, came to assist us with our hair. She was a sweet woman, strong to say the least. She reminded me a lot of my mother. That gave me some sort of comfort in this unfamiliar place. Me and my husband are good people. We won't mistreat or abuse you, but since you were placed in our custody, you must abide by our rules. Rule number 1, keep your heads up and chest out. We are a very prideful family, and that will continue. I understand you're hurting, so I won't be that strict about it. I'll let you heal, but I'm not letting up on that rule. Now, rule 2 is vital. Okora isn't only the family name, but it's a brand, a business. Every member that is a part of the family must be associated with this business. Who said we're staying here? I want to go home. Sky was snapping on the whole family, but I thought it was nice for them to take us in. What other options did we have anyway? I was way too bougie to live in the streets. We ain't holding y'all hostage. If you think you can find a better place to go, you can go. I thought so. Your mouth is going to get you into big trouble. I want to make y'all as comfortable as I can, but I will not have you disrespect me in my own home, little girl. You feel me? We looked at her in utter silence. She sounded like our mother, word for word, and had both of us shook. Maybe this was God's way of letting us know we were safe with the Okora family. Okay, and that was the prologue. I actually like this, and it's kind of funny because my characters in my book, Should Have Thought Twice, are Rain and Sky. And I think that was so uncanny when I was reading it. I had to kind of get it out my head that it's not my characters. But I definitely will be doing more. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to continue reading the story, I will gladly do that. Just need you to give a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, share, do all that fun, fancy stuff, and then we can continue with the story. I'll talk to you guys soon. I will be posting another story in like another 20 minutes.